This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today is a big day here where I live in California because there is a recall election that has been mounted against Gavin Newsom, the Democratic governor of the state. And there are a litany of ding-dong candidates, fringe weirdos, who are now running against Gavin Newsom. And California has a bizarre system where you get a ballot. I've already filled mine in, dropped it off in a official ballot drop-off box. But there's a weird system where you fill out and you have to say no to the recall. And then there's a list of candidates. Now, the governor and his team has recommended that people just fill in no and then leave the rest blank. That's what I did. Maybe a little risky. But anyway, on to the weirdos. There are several candidates. There's YouTubers who are running. But the leading candidate right now is the Larry Elder. I've done a video on him. There is copious amounts of radical, insanely radical shit that he said. From arguing for reparations for slave owners to just a number of things, arguing against the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I'm going to play a clip in this video proving why he is out of step for California. He doesn't fit the mold of someone who's going to represent the interests of Californians. But what he is also doing is taking a page out of Donald Trump's playbook to not commit to backing the election results, whether he win or lose, which has a long tradition in the United States. The 99.9% of the time of the existence of the United States, candidates time after time after time have stood down and conceded their defeat. It's part of the peaceful transfer of power. The tradition, the healthy tradition of peaceful transfer of power from one candidate to another. And we'll read a little bit from this Daily Beast article, and then I'm going to play a couple clips. One is him on MSNBC refusing to commit to backing the election results. This article in the Daily Beast, Larry Elder preemptively concedes defeat, launches voter fraud site. Before the results of Tuesday's California gubernatorial recall election have even come in, top polling Republican candidate Larry Elder appeared to be already conceding defeat on Monday and preparing to blame his loss on baseless claims of widespread voter fraud, as first reported by the Sacramento Bee. Elder's campaign launched a website calling for his supporters to report incidents of fraud and sign a petition to investigate the election results. They're already calling for an investigation of the election results. I've watched several clips this morning, all of which show Larry Elder claiming victory. Oh, I'm gonna mop the floor. He doesn't literally say these words, but he's intimating that he's not worried about losing because he's going to send Gavin Newsom packing. And if that's the case, if he's so confident, then why is he already asking supporters to sign a petition to investigate the election results that we don't even know what they are yet? Trump 101. The site, which is paid for by the campaign, includes language that assumes Governor Gavin Newsom had already won, though no results had yet been released, and Elder is still campaigning. Quote, "We implore you to join us in this fight as you are able, primarily by signing our petition demanding a special session of the California legislature to investigate and ameliorate the twisted results of this 2021 recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom," the site says. So that's not even like a preemptive, like, oh, just in case we want you to do this. This is indicating that they're admitting that they're going to lose, that they lost. They set this up. It seems like it might be a mistake to me that they published the website prior to the election, but they had the guns ready to battle against fake voter fraud. Because, listen, I lived in California for over a decade, and this is a progressive state. For anyone to think that Larry Elder would stand a chance at statewide office is insane. Sure, maybe in Bakersfield, where Kevin McCarthy represents. Somewhere up near Fresno, where Devin Nunes is. Not statewide. Additionally, the website states statistical analyses used to detect fraud in elections held in third world nations, such as Russia, Venezuela, and Iran, have detected fraud in California, resulting in Governor Gavin Newsom being reinstated as governor. Well, he's not being reinstated. He hasn't left, idiots. With polls showing Newsom heavily favored to remain in office, Elder and other Republicans have increasingly and falsely suggested the election is rigged in favor of Democrats, echoing former President Donald Trump's big lie about the 2020 presidential election. So yesterday, he was on the air with someone from MSNBC, and they kept pressing him, asking him if he's going to stand by the results. And this was his very staged, very scripted, very preordained answer that he kept repeating over and over.
Whether or not you win or lose, will you accept the results of the election tomorrow?
I think we all ought to be looking at election integrity, no matter whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. Let's all make sure that the election is a fair election. So let's all work together, no matter what the results are, to make sure that the results are valid and legitimate, and everybody who voted should have voted. Let's all do that together.
Is that a commitment to accept the results of the election tomorrow?
Let's all do that together. Let's all work together on both sides of the aisle to make sure that the election is a fair election.
Now, look, again, I'm gonna beat the dead horse of the topic of him not being fit to serve the people of California. He is out of step with the culture of California voters. Here he is from several years ago arguing that he would have voted against the Civil Rights Act.
When I said to this man that I was a libertarian, he said, wait a second, libertarian? I had the libertarian candidate for vice governor of New York on my show. And I asked him, when you were in the Senate in the mid-'60s, would you have voted in favor or against the civil rights legislation of 1964? And this man said he would have voted against it. So I'm asking you, Larry Elder, what would you have done? And I said, well, to the extent that those laws mandate any kind of interference in the private sector, yes, I would have voted against it. He went ballistic.
And yet he is surprised, and his team and his supporters are surprised that he would lose an election. We don't know the results yet, but why would it surprise anyone if he were to lose? That is out of step, not just with liberal California, that's out of step with the totality of America. The vast majority of Americans who are decent and reasonable people would support the Civil Rights Act. But not Larry Elder, not if it gets in the way of private enterprise. So racism and bigotry and prejudice are okay as long as they're done under the guise of free market capitalism, to Larry Elder. And he bemoans the LA Times, I believe it was the LA Times, their use of the phrase that he's the blackface of white supremacy. Is it wrong to say that? Is it incorrect, to say that he is the blackface of white supremacy? That he gives white nationalists and white supremacists cover? Because, well, look, it's not racist that I believe the things I say. Look at Larry Elder. He also believes those things, and he's a black man. Reprehensible, disgusting, and I really hope he loses for the sake of the tens of millions of Californians, because we can't afford to be like Texas. We can't afford to be like Florida, run by dummies and tanking day after day after day. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. If you're in California, I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. That would be fantastic. I'd love to connect with you there. And if I bring you value, if what I do on a daily basis brings you any joy or information or entertainment at all, I would ask that you please help support and produce my work here on the channel. For as little as $2 a month, you can become a channel member. Click the button below that says join, see what's involved. If you choose to support, that is fantastic. If you're already on Patreon and you're more comfortable with that platform, you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support my work there. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.